Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. A small figure traveled through the shadows. Once the coast was clear, the blonde boy moved into the light and headed home. For years, Naruto Uzumaki's life has been a living hell. With no family of his own, he was raised in the orphanage. During his time there, the staff would glare at him and the other orphans would either push him around or avoid him like the plague. When adults came to adopt a child, they would always look at him like he was some kind of devil before adopting another child. The worst part was he never understood why. Finally, when he was 6 years old, the orphanage decided he was old to fend for himself and kicked him out. The third Hokage heard about this and, being one of the few people who liked the boy, decided to get Naruto his own apartment as well as an allowance for food and other necessities. Despite Sarutobi's kindness, things only got worse for Naruto. Most of the villagers looked at him with contempt and would call him names like, demon brat, or, monster. Parents kept their kid away from him or encouraged them to hate him too. Many shopkeepers refused to do business with him or even allow him in their stores. People would even attack him when he was alone or in an alley. The Hokage had made it illegal to harm or kill the boy, but most of the shinobi sent to look after the young Uzumaki would simply look the other way and wait until the last second to save him. Strangely, though, Naruto was always left alone on his birthday, and sometimes he thought he saw a masked man with white hair watching over him. He always dismissed this as his imagination, however. All the constant hate and abuse took a toll on the poor Uzumaki's mind. His self-esteem deteriorated as a result and Naruto grew to fear people. Even after joining the academy, he did his best to keep his distance from the other kids. He never spoke unless he had to, and when he did, he would always stutter. In spite of his efforts, however, Naruto almost always found himself being chased or beaten. It was difficult to hide because of the orange outfit he was forced to wear. None of the clothing stores would sell him anything else. At the academy, when he tried to separate himself from the other students, bullies would follow him and constantly make fun of his shy demeanor or repeat what they heard the adults say about him, though sometimes he managed to hide himself and avoid them. Today, Naruto was returning home from the academy, hiding in the shadows, like he always did. It was his second year at the ninja academy. When he reached his home, he looked around to make sure no one was around. The streets looked empty, so he stepped out of the shadows. Maybe my luck is starting to turn around, he managed to get there from the academy without drawing unwanted attention. He walked toward the door, but before he reached it, villagers popped out of hiding and blocked the way to his house. Naruto turned around to run away, but found himself surrounded when more villagers appeared. As the assailants approached, he noticed one of them had a leaf headband signifying that he was a shinobi. Naruto looked into the ninja's eyes and instantly knew what was going to happen. He stumbled back and fell on his rump. He looked the shinobi and asked the same question he always asked assaulters, why? Naruto never understood what he did to deserve such hate. Payback, demon, the ninja answered, just as everyone else did. That was all they ever said and Naruto never understood it. He had no recollection of ever wronging anyone. All he knew was that for as long as he could remember, the villagers treated him with disdain. It made no sense to him. What could I have done to him, to any of them? Was the question he constantly asked himself. Why do they consider me a demon? Naruto's eyes filled with fear and terror as the villager prepared to strike. Just then, the shinobi punched Naruto right in the face, sending him on his back. Before he could curl into a ball, the others started attacking with a barrage of punches and kicks, not letting up for a single moment. Naruto cried in pain as tears and blood ran from his face. He couldn't fight back, he couldn't black out. All he could do was wait in agony until they were done with him. Hinata Hyuga watched as shinobi covered in red and blue paint ran past her hiding spot. It took every ounce of strength not to laugh as they passed her by. The Hyuga heiress had a reputation as the pranking queen of the hidden leaf. Of course, this often caused tension between her and her father along with the other elders from the main branch. They often found her actions to be inappropriate for a Hyuga, especially one of her stature. Still, she didn't care. She knew they couldn't do anything too extreme in fear that it would affect their reputation more than her pranks. Besides, she had one of the best scores in taijutsu, so she wasn't considered worthless. Also, though he would never admit it, Hinata was a lot like her mother and Remond Hiyashi of his late wife and even found some of her pranks humorous, though again, he'd never admit it. Knowing she would be scolded for her tomfoolery, she decided to take the scenic route home. As she walked, she saw a group of people gathered around something. It looked like they were attacking someone, an intruder perhaps. She stopped and was about to activate her Byakugan when the crowd dispersed. Her eyes widened in horror as she saw they had beaten a child. The boy was battered and bruised with a gash in his left arm. His blonde hair was covered in dirt and blood ran from his nose down the whisker marks on his face. Wait a minute, I recognize this boy. His name is Naruto. Hinata had seen him in her classes at the academy. She remembered him being shy all the time, but never paid much attention to him and didn't know him that well. She was always either planning her pranks, running from her victims, usually her instructors, placing the blame on others like Kiba, or training. Even so, Hinata couldn't think of any reason why anyone would want to hurt him. She watched, unable to move from the shock. The idea that the villagers would be so ruthless to a kid was appalling. She snapped out of it when she saw Naruto pick up a kunai left behind by one of his assailants. When he brought it to his chest, a terrible thought ran through her head. Is he going to? No, he wouldn't. Would he? Hinata rushed to the boy. She had to stop him. She had to save him. Dash. The villager finally got bored of beating on the Uzumaki boy. They left him there, broken and in pain. It was the worst beating of his life. He was caked in dirt. Hot tears and warm blood ran down his battered face. His nose was broken, as were quite a few of his bones. The shinobi had taken out his kunai and cut his left arm. He lay there, not noticing the girl nearby, wanting the pain to stop, wanting it all to stop. He opened his eyes, as he had closed them during though, and saw the kunai the ninja used. He looked at it and saw an exit from his suffering. With the remainder of his strength, he grabbed the weapon and placed it over his heart. Maybe now I can meet my parents, whoever they were. Maybe it won't be so bad in the afterlife. Naruto got ready to deliver the killing blow to himself. He had no doubts. But before he could plunge the kunai into his heart, he heard someone shout, "Stop!" Dash. Hinata shouted at the top of her lungs, "Stop!" Before she knocked the kunai out of his hands. Naruto's eyes shot up. When he saw her, fear crept into him as he tried to back away. His body was too damaged and was unable to respond. Hinata looked into Naruto's blue eyes and saw they were filled with fear. Is he afraid of me? He must think I'm going to hurt him like those villagers did. She tried to calm him down. Don't worry, I won't hurt you like those villagers did, she said in a soothing voice. Naruto was surprised and skeptical at first. But then he saw no malice or hate in her eyes like he did in others. What he saw was foreign to him. Could she be concerned about me? Naruto relaxed a bit but kept his guard up in case this was a trick. Hinata could tell he didn't fully trust her, but noticed he calmed down a bit. Finally she asked him, "Why did you do that?" What? You heard me. Why did you try to kill yourself? What were you thinking? I know you just went through something horrible, but this is a little extreme. Didn't you consider how your friends would react to this, or your family for that matter? She said. Clearly she didn't pay much attention what people said about him. Naruto lowered his head. My family is dead, he stuttered in a low voice. I'll live alone there. He pointed to the apartment behind him. As for friends, he didn't finish his sentence. He was too damaged to stay conscious. His body went limp and collapsed on the ground. Naruto. She was worried about him. His injuries looked serious. She had to get him to a hospital. Carefully, she picked him up and rushed to the hospital. As she traveled, she thought about what he said. Although he collapsed before finishing his sentence, his sad tone of voice was all the answer she needed. On her way, she looked at the civilians she passed. They all had strange looks on them that felt familiar. That's when it hit her. The look Neji gave her whenever they saw one another. She couldn't believe it. It was the very same look, and it was being directed at Naruto. To say she was pissed would be a major understatement. She may not know Naruto very well, but she could tell he was not a bad person. All Hyuga are skilled at reading others. It made lying to her father pretty much impossible. Alone, no friends, no family, and hated by all. No one deserved that, least of all Naruto. Don't worry, Naruto, I'm going to change that, she whispered to the unconscious boy. Just hang in there. Dash. Iruka had finally finished grading paper from the quiz he gave. He must have his students got A, B or C on it. Sasuke Uchiha and Hinata Hyuga, two of his top students, both scored A, B+. Surprisingly, one student got an A+, Naruto Uzumaki. Though not his best student, Iruka believed Naruto did have great potential. The boy would listen in class and take notes. However, his low self-esteem badly hurt his taijutsu and ninjutsu skills. As for shuriken and kunai skills, they were pretty average. Iruka wished he could do more for Naruto. He too grew up alone without a family, so he knew some of Naruto's pain. He decided to go and pay Naruto visit that night when suddenly he saw Hinata running toward him with something on her back. It was Naruto. And he didn't look good. Hinata, what happened? Iruka yelled with concern. Iruka-sensei, I was passing by when I saw a bunch of villagers attack Naruto in front of his apartment. He's in really bad shape. Hinata quickly said. She decided it was best to leave out the attempted suicide. Could you identify any of them? No, but I know one was a shinobi, probably a Jonin. Alright, hurry to the hospital. I'll alert the Hokage. And with that, Iruka rushed off to the Hokage mansion. Please be alright, Naruto. Dash. And that's the mission report. Good work, Kakashi. You should go home and get some rest, said the Hokage. It was going to be another long night of paperwork for him, so he figured he might as well start now. He took his pipe and inhaled deeply. Thank you, Lord Hokage, replied Kakashi as he pulled out a certain book written by a certain Sannin. Just then, Iruka burst through the door, followed by a guard who tried to stop him. Lord Third. Naruto was attacked and is being brought to the hospital. What? The Hokage dropped pipe at the same time Kakashi dropped his book. What happened? According to Hinata, Naruto was attacked by some villagers in front of his apartment. Apparently one of the assailants was a Jonin. As we speak, Hinata is bringing Naruto to the hospital. The Hokage's anger was clearly visible on his face. There weren't any Anbu he trusted available today, so he sent a Jonin to look after the boy. He turned to the guard. Get the shinobi who was responsible for watching Naruto. Take him to Ibiki and tell Ibiki the situation. I want the bastards who attacked Naruto against the law I laid punished. Everyone stared at the Hokage. It was rare for the Hokage to be this mad, but it was even rarer to hear him curse. Recovering from the shock, the guard rushed to follow his order. The Jonin was about to have a really bad day. Ibiki's method were a nightmare on his good days, and he was a good friend of Minato. The Hokage calmed down a bit. Kakashi, I know you just came back from a mission, but don't worry, Lord Third. I'll protect Naruto. With that, Kakashi disappeared, moving toward the hospital. Damn it. If only that fox had never come, said the Hokage. Iruka knew what he meant. The day of Naruto's birth, the nine-tailed fox attacked. Many shinobi and civilians alike were killed that day, including Iruka's parents as well as Naruto's mother, Kushina. In order to stop the tailed beast, 4th Hokage Minato used a forbidden sealing jutsu that sealed the nine tails in his son, Naruto, at the cost of his life. This meant Naruto was the only thing keeping the Hidden Leaf village safe from the tailed beast. However, the villagers were filled with anger and rage at the loss of many friends and loved ones, and so that anger was directed at Naruto himself. Iruka still harbored hatred toward the fox, but never at Naruto. He knew Naruto was just as much a victim of the fox as anyone. To protect Naruto, the Hokage made it illegal to talk about the fox, in order to keep the younger generation from treating him like an outcast. It worked, to some degree. The youths had no idea Naruto was a Jinchuriki, not even Naruto himself. However, most parents have done all they can to keep their children from associating with the young Jinchuriki. As a result, some avoided him and some bullied him. By the way, Lord Hokage, I apologize for barging in, said Iruka. It's alright Iruka, I just hope Naruto will be alright. Hinata arrived at the hospital and got to work looking for a doctor. After a few unsuccessful attempts, she finally managed to corner one. Hey, this guy needs medical attention. Alright, let me just. The doctor stopped when he saw Naruto. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm too busy right now to treat him, he said with a tone of disgust. Hinata grabbed the doctor by his coat and pulls him down to look him in the eye. Now look here doc, just a second ago you were ready to help him, then you see who he is and now you busy. You listen to me, either you help him or you'll need a doctor. She lets him go. The doctor just stood there for a few seconds, then quickly and reluctantly took the boy to one of the room. Hinata followed, smiling triumphantly. Had she activated her Byakugan or looked behind her, she would have seen a white-haired Jonin with his kunai drawn. The next day Naruto woke up. He was still a little sore, but felt much better than he did yesterday. He always healed faster than others, though he never knew why. Hey, you're finally awake. Naruto turned and was surprised to find the girl from yesterday. She was grinning at him. How are you feeling? Be better. How did IG get H here? I brought you here, duh. Why you did? Thanks. No problem Naruto. Looks like he has a big stuttering problem. I'll have to help him with that at some point. Naruto looked a bit surprised. Why you know who I am? He figured the reason she was so nice to him was because she didn't know who he was. Of course, we're in the same class. Or do you not recognize me? She teased. He didn't get it. And no, remember. He did in fact know exactly who she was. You're Lady Hinata of the Hyuga clan. Relax, Naruto, I was joking. And anyway we're friends so you don't have to be so formal. Just Hinata will do. Friends? Did she say friends? Naruto pinched himself under the covers to make sure he wasn't dreaming. Hinata suppressed a laugh. She could tell his mind was trying to process the idea of friendship. That's right Naruto, we're friends starting today. A smile creeped on the young boy's face. A friend. Finally, I have a friend. Kakashi stood hidden outside the room. He overheard the whole conversation between Naruto and Hinata. Sensei, forgive me for not being able to take better care of your son, but now he has a friend who will do a better job of taking care of him than I ever could. Since the two became friends, Naruto and Hinata spent a lot of time together. However, Naruto was having a hard time adjusting. He was fighting instincts he developed from 10 years of hate and abuse. Needless to say Hinata had her hands full dealing with those instincts. She had to start every conversation they had because he was always too nervous to speak. When Naruto responded, Hinata struggled to understand him because of his stutter and quiet voice. During lunch at the academy, she had to remind him they were eating together in order to keep him from sneaking away like he used to. Also, he often tried to hide when other people approached them. Hinata was annoyed, but she understood where these instincts came from. The more she hung out with him, the more she saw the contempt the villagers had for him. She also noticed people looking at Naruto as if waiting to pounce once he was alone. This made her more protective of the shy boy, glaring at everyone who looked like they wanted to harm him. She would always walk him home so nothing like what happened that day would ever happen again. No ever tried anything. They knew better than to mess with the Hyuga heiress, and not just because her title. After all, she wasn't the pranking queen of the hidden leaf for nothing. Everyone who insulted Naruto in her presence later found themselves painted, soaking wet, or otherwise humiliated. She even helped him with his taijutsu. One day, Hinata and Naruto were leaving the academy when Naruto's stomach growled. He looked down in embarrassment, tapping his index fingers together. It was a new habit of his whenever he was around her. Hinata just snickered and said, "I guess you're pretty hungry right now, huh?" Still looking down, the young Jinchuriki answered softly, "Why yeah. Why don't we go somewhere to eat?" she suggested. I'm not as sure that's a good idea," he answered. He knew most places wouldn't even let him in the building. Nonsense. What do you feel like eating? Our ramen. That didn't surprise her. Since they had lunch together at school, that was all she ever saw him eat. She thought for a moment. I know just the place. Follow me, and with that, she grabbed his arm and pulled him with her. They arrived at their destination, a small ramen stand known as Ichiraku Ramen. As the two entered, Hinata called to the man inside. "Hey old man Tuki." Tuki chuckled and said, "Lady Hinata, it's good to see you again. You haven't been here in a while." Then he noticed Naruto, "And it looks like you brought a friend." Naruto quickly hid behind Hinata, but she stepped aside and introduced him. "This is my newest friend, Naruto Uzumaki." Hi, he stuttered, afraid the old man would kick him out like all the others. But the Tuki beckoned him forward. "Don't worry, I won't bite. As long as you can pay for your meal, you're welcome here." He knew about the 9 tails being sealed inside the boy, but he didn't care. In fact, as far as he was concerned, that boy was the only thing keeping the fox from rampaging and destroying the Hidden Leaf Village. He was hesitant, but he took his seat next to Hinata and ordered some miso ramen. Hinata ordered the same. "By the way," she said, "where's Ayame?" "Oh, I sent my daughter to fetch some supplies. She'll be back soon." Just then, a brown-haired girl come in carrying some bags. "Oh, Ayame. Hinata just asked about you." "Hey Hinata, who's your friend?" She pointed at the young blonde. I'm Naruto. "Nice to meet you Naruto. I'm Ayame. I work here with my father," she said with a smile. And so, Ichiraku became Naruto's favorite place in the village. He would often go there on his own. That's right, Naruto does spend time away from Hinata and vice versa. She does have other friends and order large quantities of ramen with money he saved. Naruto was truly grateful to Hinata, and he would often try to show it. He shared his notes with her after class and sometimes pays for lunch. Guess where? Naruto even made lunch for them one time, and surprisingly, it wasn't ramen. I know how to see cook other things be beside ramen, he said when he saw her surprised expression. She laughed. There were still so many things she didn't know about her blue-eyed comrade. Naruto was still shy, but bit by bit, his self-esteem rose. And after some time, Hinata decided to introduce him to some of her other friend. Naturally, Naruto was still reluctant to meet new people, but Hinata didn't give him a choice. During lunch, she dragged him to where 4 other boys were. The first boy had a dog on his head, the second was eating out of a potato chip bag, the third was laying down looking at the clouds, and the fourth was wearing sunglasses. The boy with the pup saw them. "Hey Hinata, what's with the traffic cone?" he said, making fun of Naruto's outfit. Naruto instinctively hid behind Hinata, embarrassed about his orange attire. "Kiba, be nice," Hinata said as she moved Naruto in front of her. "What? It was just a joke." "Hey," the boy with the chips spoke up, "aren't you that shy guy who sits in the back of the class?" "Naruto, right?" Naruto nodded. "Why yes, and I remember all why your name's FR from roll call," he stuttered and pointed toward the boy. "Why you're Choji." Then at Kiba, Kiba, then the boy laying down, Shikamaru, and finally, at the boy with sunglasses, and Yoshino. You forgot about Akamaru, Kiba said, pointing to the dog on his head. Sorry, Naruto said, afraid he may have come off as insensitive for not including his dog. Hinata beckoned him to sit at the table. Akamaru then jumped onto the table, walked toward the blonde, sniffed him, then began licking his face affectionately. Naruto couldn't help but giggle, while Kiba started laughing. Looks like Akamaru likes you, which means you're okay in my book. Akamaru stopped and went back to Kiba. Hinata, Shino started, how exactly did you and Naruto become friends? Yeah, how does the Leaf's most hyperactive, unpredictable ninja in training end up befriending the shyest, most timid person I've ever met? Choji said. He then remembered Naruto was next to her. Oops, no offense. Hinata glared at him for a second, then contemplated what to say. Naruto had asked her not to tell anyone who didn't already know about the beating. And she definitely wasn't going to mention his attempted suicide. She didn't even tell the Hokage when he asked for her side of the story. Surprisingly, before she could come up with something, Naruto spoke up. Well, I, injured myself while heading home. Hinata found and helped me. We talk a bit and after that, we ended up friends. Shikamaru spoke now. I guess you got lucky. Dealing with an injury by itself is troublesome, but dealing with it alone is a real drag. Anyway, be careful. Hinata is a good person, but sometimes she can be real troublesome, especially when she's pranking someone. Yeah, just the other day she hid a bag of dog poop using a genjutsu she learned. Uruka-sensei stepped in and for some reason thought I was involved, so I ended up with detention. Thanks a lot, Hinata, Kiba said as Hinata snickered, remembering the look on Uruka-sensei's face when he stepped on it. Didn't you supply her with the bag? Shino said plainly. Well, yeah, but I didn't know she'd use it for that. Kiba argued. Let me get this straight. You gave Hinata dog poop without suspecting a prank. What did you think she was going to do with it? Shikamaru retorted. Yeah, that does make you sound like a baka, Choji agreed. Whatever, I was still wrongly punished. Faced it, you supplied me, therefore helping me and making you a part of the prank, Hinata said firmly. All five suddenly heard someone giggle. They turned and were surprised to find it came from Naruto, who immediately covered his mouth and turned his head, his face red with embarrassment. Sorry. Hinata, Kiba, and Choji started laughing, while Shikamaru simply smiled and shook his head. Shino's face didn't change, but he was amused as well. Choji then approached Naruto. Hey, it's okay to laugh. We're all friends here. Naruto looked up at Choji and then the others. Hinata just smiled at him. Kiba spoke up. Yeah, I already told you you're okay in my book. Don't be so nervous. Anyone friend of Hinata is a friend of ours. It'd be a real drag otherwise, Shikamaru added. So on behalf of everyone, Shino said, welcome to our little colony. It was Iruka's turn to monitor everyone during lunch. He watched the Uchiha boy train, while fangirls stood in awe and cheered him on, hoped to get a date with the boy. His eyes then sifted to Naruto, who looked like he was getting along with Hinata and her friend. Iruka smiled at this. Looks like Naruto is no longer alone. Good. He deserves to have friends after what he has been through. And hopefully one day, the villagers will learn to accept him too. Mizuki came up from behind him. Looks like Uzumaki is finally socializing, Iruka. Yeah, was he could think to say. The bell rang, signaling the end of lunch as the two instructors and their students returned to their classrooms. Naruto was walking down the hall with his new friends when someone bumped into him, knocking him on the ground. He looked up and found himself looking into the eyes of Sasuke Uchiha. Kiba shouted, Hey, watch it. You hit our friend. Your friend should have been paying attention. He should have moved out of the way the moment my precious Sasuke appeared, said the pink-haired girl behind Sasuke. You're precious, said the blonde girl behind her. Not likely forehead girl. Sasuke's mine. In your dreams, Ino pig. The pink-haired girl countered. While those two and the rest of the fangirls argued, Sasuke looked down at the boy he bumped into. Naruto looked right back at him. For some reason, those black eyes made Naruto feel insignificant. As Hinata helped Naruto up, Sasuke spoke. Why do you bother with him? What was that? Hinata said angrily. Sasuke then pointed at the blonde boy. He's nothing more than a loser. A little bump knocks him on his and he needs his friends to come to his defense. There's no way someone as weak and pathetic as him could ever become a shinobi. He should just give up now. Yeah, tell it like it is, the pink-haired girl cheered. Each word stuck Naruto like a dagger. Suddenly he felt like he did before he met Hinata. He felt helpless, insignificant, and weak. Naruto fell to his knees, fighting back tears. How dare you insult our friend? Choji roared, his hands clutched into fist. The others followed suit while Hinata activated her Byakugan. Let me say this once. Insult my friend like that again and you will see firsthand what a Hyuga is capable of. Hinata shouted. And an Inuzuka, said Kiba. Akamaru barked in agreement. And an Akamichi, said Choji. And a Nara, Shikamaru added. And an Aburame, Shino added calmly with a hint of anger in his voice. Hey, what's all this yelling about? One of the teachers came down the hall. All right you guys, head back to class. She then looked at Naruto, and I don't want any more trouble from you, she added coldly. But Naruto didn't do. Choji started. Enough. Just head back to class, she interrupted before leaving. Hinata made a mental note to prank her hard later. As Sasuke and his group left, the blonde girl turned around and mouthed sorry. Geez, what was that about? Kiba asked. The teacher acted like you were some troublemaker, but I've never seen you do anything wrong. I don't know, he said softly and, surprisingly, without stuttering. The fangirls kept trying to win Sasuke's heart. However, Sasuke was only interested in one girl, Hinata Hyuga. He figured she was the perfect girl to help him rebuild the Uchiha clan after his brother Itachi killed them all. She was confident, strong, and quite skilled. The fact that she possessed the Byakugan also interested him. He believed that with their union, the new Uchiha clan would possess a powerful new Kekkei Genkai which had aspects from both the Sharingan and the Byakugan, making them the strongest clan in the ninja world. And of course the fact that she was pretty helped too. But first, he had to complete his goal. He had to kill Itachi. Naruto was at Ichiraku with Shikamaru and Choji. Hinata and Kiba were caught pranking the instructor from yesterday and now had detention. Shino had business at home, so he could come. Naruto and Choji had both just finished their 5th bowl of ramen when the blonde girl from Sasuke's fan club showed up. Hey Ino, what brings you here? I thought you'd be with Sasuke, Choji asked. I decided to hang out with you guys for a bit. Ino answered, then turned to Naruto. Naruto, right. Sorry about Sasuke yesterday. I'm hoping to change that once I'm his girlfriend. It's alright, he said as he got his 6th bowl. Why you didn't do anything? Exactly, I didn't try to help you. But don't worry. Like I said, I plan on making him nicer once we become a couple. A sinister smile crept on Ino's face. Speaking of which, anything going on between you and the Hyuga princess? She said teasingly. Naruto nearly chalked. No. WWE, we're just FF friends, that's all, Naruto stuttered, his face blushing. Truthfully, he never considered Hinata more than a friend before. He figured he was lucky just to be her friend in the first place. But now that brought it up, he started seeing Hinata in a whole new light. Really? Ino said, noticing the blush on his face and got closer to his ear. So you don't think about her hair? Suddenly the image of Hinata's hair appeared in his mind and he blushed deeper. Her eyes, deeper. Her smile, even deeper. Her lips against yours. That was the final straw. Once that image appeared, his mind overloaded and shut down as Naruto fainted and fell off his chair. Luckily Ino caught him and laid him on the ground. Choji spoke up. Ino, I think you went too far. Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry. Sigh troublesome. Hey guys, Hinata shouted as she and Kiba appeared. Neither were surprised to see Ino, as she and Hinata were good friends despite Ino's infatuation with the Uchiha boy. Once she saw Naruto on the floor passed out, Hinata grew worried and asked as calmly as she could, what happened? Oh most have eaten too much ramen, Ino said quickly. She didn't want to tell Hinata what she did. Also, she felt it would be wrong to reveal Naruto's feelings like that. Despite her intrusive behavior, she was a trustworthy girl who would never reveal someone else's secret. Hinata eyed her a bit but seeing no other explanation, she accepted it and went to wake Naruto. Naruto, Naruto wake up, she said as she shook him a bit and tapped his cheeks. When Naruto woke up, he found himself staring into Hinata's clear, white eyes. He blushed as he looked into them, his thoughts commenting their beauty. They're like two full moons, or pearls. Just beautiful. How have I never noticed? He then realized just how close their faces were. As he remembered what Ino said, he blushed even deeper and once again fainted. What Hinata saw confused her. Naruto finally wakes up, only for his face to turn pink, then red, and then pass out again. She scratched her head as she asked, what just happened? Ino covered her mouth the urge to laugh, Shikamaru face-palmed, and Choji dug himself into his food. Kiba guessed what happened and decided to tease her. Hey maybe if you kiss him he'll wake up, like in that story. Now Hinata blushed, if only for a second. Kiba, be serious. Then she had an idea. She grabbed Naruto's bowl of ramen and held it to his nose. As the scent entered his nostrils, Naruto's eyes shot open, prompting everyone to laugh. Even Shikamaru couldn't contain himself. Who needs smelling salts? One whiff of ramen would wake Naruto from a coma. Kiba joke. Naruto chuckled too. He knew they weren't making fun of him and that it was all in good fun. After everyone calmed down and finished their meal. After they paid, they all went their separate ways. All except Naruto and Hinata. As they walked back to his apartment, Hinata noticed Naruto was acting differently. He would try to steal glances at her and blushed when she caught him before looking away. His finger-tapping habit was also more frequent around her. An uneasy silence befell them as they continued on their path. Surprisingly, it was Naruto who broke that silence. Hey, Hinata. Hinata was speechless. Naruto never started a conversation. She found her voice and said, yes, Naruto. Why do you put up with me? I mean, I am not strong or confident. The villager L look at why you like why you're insane for B being with me. N no matter what I do, IJ just attract trouble and can't do anything about it. M maybe Sasuke are right, M maybe I am J just a. Suddenly, Hinata clasps her hand over his mouth. Now you listen to me Naruto Uzumaki. You are not a loser. You are by far the nicest person I've ever met and if these villagers are too stupid to see that, they can go to hell. You're stronger than you think. You lasted 10 years on your own, enduring the abuse the villagers gave you. And don't forget, I've been helping you with your taijutsu so I know what you're capable of. So you forget everything that bastard Uchiha said about you. You are going to be a strong shinobi and we're friend for life, got it? Naruto was taken back by the ferocity of her tone, but was grateful for every word. When she removed her hand, he smiled and said, thank you. And so the two friends continued on their path before Naruto decided to ask something else. By the way Hinata. Why I am how I am. Why all s shy and stuff. Hinata nodded. Well, I was wondering what made you so confident and s strong. Hinata's expression soured a bit. Naruto felt like he hit a sour subject, but before he could rescind his question, Hinata answered, my clan is separated into two groups, the main family and the branch family. The main family, which I am a part of, runs the clan. In fact, my father is the clan head and I the heiress, so one day I will run it. Anyway, the branch family is charged with protecting the main family, as well as the clan's secrets. They are treated like servants and are often mistreated by the main family. To protect our Keke Genke, the Byakugan, and ensure obedience, every member of the branch family is given the caged bird seal. This curse mark prevents the Byakugan from being stolen, but also allows members of the main family to punish or kill a branch family member. As a result of all this, most of the branch family harbor feelings of disdain against the main family. Hinata gave Naruto time to absorb this knowledge, then continued, "Do you remember a few years ago, when the Hidden Cloud sent people to the Hidden Leaf offering a peace treaty to end the fighting between the two villages? It was all an act. Their real objective was to obtain the Byakugan, and since they needed someone from the main family, they kidnapped me." "What? You were kidnapped?" Naruto said, shocked. He couldn't believe someone would kidnap her. Then he remembered how he was treated all his life and the shock passed. Hinata nodded and continued her story. "Yeah, but they failed. My father killed the man who kidnapped me. Unfortunately, the kidnapper was the Cloud's head ninja, and the Hidden Cloud denied the accusations of kidnapping. They demanded my father's body as tribute. However, the elders gave them my uncle's body instead. My father and uncle were identical twins, so they were able to trick the Cloud, bringing peace. However, since then my cousin Neji, who was his son, has hated me and the main family ever since. If I hadn't been kidnapped, if I hadn't been so weak, there was nothing you could do. You were just a little girl. It wasn't your fault," Naruto told her. For that one moment, he was no longer shy. He just wanted to cheer his friend up. "Thank you. I know that, but still, I don't want anyone to die or suffer because of me ever again. That's what keeps me confident. That's what makes me strong," Hinata said. It felt good to be able to let that out. It was like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. Then she noticed something. "By the way, you didn't stutter. You finally break that habit." At that moment, Naruto regressed back to his normal, shy self. Well, Hinata just laughed. "I guess that was a one-time thing, huh? Maybe in the future." "Why, yeah, maybe." Naruto stayed silent, then decided to ask something else. "Oh, one last Q question. My, chatty today are we? Go ahead, shoot. Why the pranks?" "That's simple. I don't want to just be known as Hinata, the Hyuga heiress. I want people to see me for me. Besides, I love pulling pranks, especially on people who deserve them. Oh, if it makes you feel better, don't see you like that," Naruto said. "And just how do you see me?" Hinata asked curiously. They finally arrived at his place. Well, guess I'll see you and the others tomorrow." "Alright, see ya then," Hinata said as she ran off to the Hyuga estate. Since that day, Naruto has had pleasant dreams involving his Hyuga friend as more than a friend. In the Hokage's office, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, was dealing with the greatest evil ever to befall the world, paperwork. I swear, it never ends. There was a knock on the door. "Enter." Uruka entered and bowed. "You summoned me, Lord Hokage?" "Yes, please tell me, how is Naruto doing?" the Hokage said as he inhaled from his pipe. It seems Naruto is becoming good friends with Hinata. She recently introduced him to her other friends and they seem to get along fine. "I've never seen Naruto happier," Uruka said happily. Hiruzen smiled. "That's good to hear. I'm glad he finally found people who will stand by him. He deserves it." The Hokage then turns around and looks out the window and at the village. "The Hyuga girl keeps the will of fire burning in our young Jinchuriki. I just know one of them will one day become Hokage. You are dismissed, Uruka." And with that, the Hokage grudgingly returned to his paperwork. Hiyashi Hyuga was waiting for his daughter to return. She was supposed to be back an hour ago. Finally, she entered the gates, walked into the building. "You're late, again," he said coldly. He was growing tired of her constant tardiness. I was with a friend. Hinata responded as respectfully as she could. She was annoyed by how strict her father was and how cold he could be, especially after the death of her mother. Still, he was her father and didn't want to argue with him too much. Would this friend happen to be Naruto Uzumaki? He said. So what if it is? Hinata responded. She had a feeling of where he was going with this. I don't want you near that boy. You are the heiress of the Hyuga clan. You cannot be associating with that child. What is your problem with Naruto? What is this whole damn village's problem with Naruto? He's never done anything wrong yet he's treated like a menace. Hinata was done being respectful. Her father was treating Naruto like the rest of the village did. Naruto is not right. There is something wrong with him. In fact, it's dangerous to be around him. Hiyashi remembered the Hokage's law about not telling anyone about Naruto hosting the Nine Tails. There is nothing wrong with Naruto. I've hung out with him long enough to know that. Why can't you and the other villages see that? Why do you insist on defend that boy? You haven't fallen for him, have you? You are the heiress to one of the most powerful and prestigious clans in the shinobi world. He is nothing more than trash compared to that. Naruto is not trash. Hinata ran into her room and slammed the door. She didn't want to talk to her father anymore. Hiyashi stood there, partially regretting what he said. After all, Naruto was the son of Hitomi's best friend, who definitely would have killed him or at least put him in the hospital for calling her son trash. I'm sorry, Kushina. If it weren't for that demon fox, things would be different. I would have been glad that our Seaholdren were such good friend. In fact, you and Minato would still be alive if it weren't for that event. But the clan comes first. I can't have your son ruin our image. Hinata laid in bed, still angry at her father for his cruel words. Then again, her father was never considered the nicest guy around. All he ever seemed to care about was the clan's reputation and secrets. She hoped to change that once she took over as clan head, as well as removed the caged bird seal placed on the branch family. Before sleep took her, however, she remembered how her father accused her of falling for Naruto and that she never equally denied that. But I just consider Naruto a friend, right? I mean, he's kind, a good listener, doesn't judge people, and he's stronger than he gives himself credit for. Not to mention cute. Wait, did I really just think that? No, me or Naruto are just friends. But even as she told herself that, the young Uzumaki boy found his way into her heart. Besides, I'm sure he sees me as just a friend as well. 2 years passed. During that time Naruto became very close with his friends. He and Choji would often talk about ramen, from the different types to the seasonings used to enhance the flavor. One thing they both agreed on was that Ichiraku's was the best. He would join Shikamaru in cloudwatching. At first Shikamaru would talk about how troublesome his mom could be, but then saw how the subject bothered Naruto, since he wished he had a mother, and would drop the subject and simply talk about Shogi or the clouds. Kiba and Akamaru would invite him over to play with some of the other pups. Naruto was a bit nervous of how Kiba's family would treat him, but they happily welcomed him. In fact, none of his friends' families had any problem with him, except the Hyuga clan, which is why Hinata never invited him over. Kiba's mom, Sume, watched as Naruto play with the other dogs. For a fox boy, he certainly gets along well with dogs, she thought. Hey Naruto, have you ever considered training a ninja hound of your own? Sume once asked. Don't think that's a good idea, he answered, remembering what the villagers did to his goldfish when he was 7. Hanging out with Shino was often awkward. The two of them didn't speak much, as none of them were very talkative. In the few solo conversations they had, Shino would talk about insects, which didn't really interest Naruto much, but listened anyway. Still, the two of them were good friends and would easily trust each other. Ino would try to keep Sasuke and the pink-haired girl aka Sakura, but of course all of you knew that away from Naruto and the others. She still had a crush on the Uchiha boy, but she didn't let it interfere with her friendship with Naruto, Hinata, Choji, Kiba, Shikamaru, and Shino. She also talked about flowers with Naruto, specifically mentioning the favorites of a certain girl. And then there was Hinata. Ever since Ino brought it up that day at Ichiraku, Naruto could not get her out of his mind. True, she was his first friend, so naturally he felt stronger bond to her than the others. However, his feelings for her evolved from friendship to a crush. As a result, despite all the progress made on his self-esteem, the blonde Jinchuriki was still very shy around her. Still, he worked harder than before make her happy, from making her lunch to complimenting her from time to time. He even left a few gifts for her. It was nothing expensive and the only thing he ever directly gave her was lunch, except on her birthday and Christmas. Though Hinata noticed Naruto's behavior, she remained oblivious to his true feelings, mostly cause she was busy wrestling with her own feelings. We're only friends, and yet I don't feel content with that. Could it be I want to be more than friends? No, that can't be, could it? These were the thoughts that often went around her head, and being around Naruto didn't help. But at the same time, she didn't want to avoid him either. She never shared her thoughts with anyone, especially Ino, who would have teased her nonstop. She also never shared one particularly embarrassing event that one day. It was their third year of school. It was lunchtime and Hinata went off alone to practice using her Byakugan. As skilled as she was, she still had some problems controlling it. Anyway, a few moments later, Naruto showed up with a ramen cup and a bento box. Here Hinata. Made you lunch, he stuttered, holding the bento in front of him. Thanks, Naruto. Wait one sec. Keep the box closed. I want to use my Byakugan to look inside. Naruto nodded and Hinata activated her Kekkei Genkai. Upon activation, her face turned red. Yes, she showed the contents of the bento, but that's not all she saw. She lost control and ended up looking though his orange outfit. There she stood, mesmerized. Despite being so young, Naruto had quite the body. It was slim yet muscular. On his left arm was a scar from the beating he got that day about a year ago. Luckily, the contents of the bento box covered his lower body, but still, she couldn't help but stare. Whoa, I wasn't expecting. No, must turn off. Are you okay, Hinata? He asked as he approached her, moving the box to his side. Eep. Her face turned crimson as she deactivated her Byakugan and turned away, unable to face Naruto. I'm fine. She took the box without looking and quickly proceeded to dig in. I shouldn't have seen that. I should have turned it off earlier. Why didn't I turn it off earlier? Still, it was a nice view. No, how could I think that? Naruto was shocked. He never ever heard Hinata stutter before. But Hinata clearly didn't want to talk about it, so he let it be. I wonder what got her so freaked out. Was it the lunch I packed? For the past 2 years, Sasuke watched as Naruto and Hinata grew closer together. What's worse, every time he tried to interfere, his fan club would get in the way, especially Ino. It was as though she was intentionally trying to keep him away. Surely she didn't know about his plans. Nonetheless, he was annoyed by his lack of progress with the Hyuga heiress. Why would she hang out with that loser? No matter, there's no way he'll pass the graduation tests. That's when I'll make my move. She will help me restore my clan. And with the combined power of the Byakugan and the Sharingan, the Uchiha will be the most powerful clan in the ninja world once more. In the meantime, I should also keep these other girls around. As annoying as they are, they may be useful to me as pawns, he thought to himself as he ignored Sakura's pleas for a date. And so, the day of the graduation test has finally arrived. Naruto waited patiently in the hall for his turn. All his friends had already passed the test and were waiting for him outside wearing their headbands with pride. Before going out, Hinata had given him a reassuring smile, which told him she had faith in him. That calmed his nerves a bit, but he was still worried he wouldn't pass. The door opened and Sasuke walked out, wearing his headband over his forehead. Before leaving, he walked by Naruto and whispered, "Don't get your hopes up. A loser like you will never pass." With that, he left. Suddenly, Naruto was even more nervous. Hinata had told him not to listen to Sasuke, but his words still rang in his head. "Naruto Uzumaki," Iruka called. Naruto glooped and walked into the classroom, repeating in his head, "I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Dash. Hey guys, once Naruto comes out, we should all celebrate becoming Genin." Kiba suggested. "We should go to that barbecue place. They're having an all-you-can-eat special." Choji said excitedly. "Let's see what Naruto thinks once he passes." Hinata said. "I think we all know what Naruto would suggest." Shikamaru stated. "Yes, Naruto always suggests we go to Ichiraku." Shino agreed. "We almost always go there." Kiba complained. "Yeah, I like ramen, but I also like variety." Choji said. "Well, it's not like he can go to a lot of places." Hinata argued. "True, and not just for food." Ino started. "Last week I decided to take Naruto out to shop for a new outfit to replace that orange abomination he wears. I entered the store I usually get my clothes from and the clerk smiled and welcomed me like always. Then Naruto walks in and suddenly the clerk chases him out of the store yelling, 'And don't come back.' Guess I'm not shopping there anymore." Ino sighed, "And too bad. They really had a great selection." "Yes, I've noticed an unusual amount of hostilities from the villagers around Naruto as well." Shino commented. "I wonder why." Choji said. They all pondered that. Just then, Naruto came out of the building. "Hey Naruto, we were thinking of going to this barbecue place to celebrate. What do you think?" Hinata asked. Then she noticed his head was down. "Naruto, what's wrong?" Hinata lifted his face and saw a tear coming from his eyes. I didn't pass." "What?" everyone said in shock. Even Shino couldn't hide his surprise. "No way, there must be some mistake. You've worked too hard to fail," Kiba argued. I'm sorry I'll let you guys down. I guess he was alright about me." Naruto said in between sobs. "What? You mean what Sasuke said? I told you not to take that bastard seriously." Hinata said, but Naruto just turned and ran away. "Wait, Naruto." She was about to go after him when she felt a hand on her shoulders. She looked up and saw Iruka. "Give him time. He need to get it out of his system," he said. "Iruka-sensei, what happened?" Shikamaru asked. "Yeah, sensei. He worked so hard for this." Choji added. "Sigh, I know. He was doing so well. But toward the end of the exam, he failed to produce a proper clone. As a result, he failed." "What? But that's not fair." Kiba argued. "Fair or not, he failed. He'll have to wait another year to take the exam again. Can't you do something, sensei?" Choji asked. "I can't make exceptions, no matter how badly I want to." Iruka answered, a tone of sadness in his voice. Iruka left them there and returned into the building. All the excitement and joy from earlier was gone. Their friend Naruto, with whom they shared many great moments, had to spend another years at the academy. They knew their training and missions would keep them busy and unable to spend much time with their blonde friend. And so, each of them slowly embarked on their way to their homes. Naruto ran as far away from his friends as he could. He couldn't bear to face them. He let them down. They put their faith in him and yet he failed to graduate. He thought about all the things Sasuke said about him and started truly believing him. He was right. I am a loser. I let all my friends down, especially Hinata. "Hey Naruto, there you are," said a voice as one of Naruto's instructors popped up. "Mizuki-sensei. What or why you doing here? Looking for you. I heard about what happened. You worked hard for this, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There is another way for you to graduate." That brought Naruto's hopes up. Really? What is it? He was determined to do anything to graduate. Hinata was halfway to the Hyuga estate when she ran into the last person she wanted to see. Sasuke approached her and said, I heard that Baka failed. I told you he was a loser. Watch your tongue, Uchiha, before I rip it out of your mouth. Testy. What is your interest in him anyway? He's weak, pathetic, and not very popular. Do you pity him because he doesn't have a family? I don't have one either, thanks to my brother. And yet I'm a much better match for you than he'll ever be. Hinata was furious at him. Don't you dare compare yourself to Naruto. I'm fully aware of what happened to your clan. I do feel bad for you in that regard, but still, Naruto is a much better person than you. He's a kind person who puts other people's concerns ahead of his own. He's not some original like you. And unlike you, he's had to put with the bullshit from the same villages who kiss your. I'd much rather be with him than be with a prick like you. After that, she pushed him against the wall of a nearby building. Sasuke's normally calm composure erupted into rage. Listen here, you bitch. He didn't finish his sentence. Hinata struck him in the chest with her gentle fist technique. Byakugan activated, she charged at Sasuke, delivering another blow, this time in the gut. She struck again, but time Sasuke dodged and backed away while form in hand signs. Fire style. Fireball jutsu. Sasuke launched a medium-sized fireball her way. She barely managed to dodge it when Sasuke closed in and hit her in the face with a left hook followed by a kick with his right. Hinata stumbled back, but before she could react she was punched in the gut. Sasuke drew his right hand back and threw a punch at her face. Hinata managed to block it and gave him an uppercut. Sasuke recovered and started the hand signs again when Hinata struck his left shoulder and his left arm went limp. What? I closed the chakra point in your shoulder. You won't be able to perform any more jutsu for a while. She then jabbed him in the face, breaking his nose, and dealt a final blow to his chest, knocking him on the ground. I told you. If you insulted Naruto you would see what a Hyuga was capable of. As she turned away from him, a smile crept on her face. You know, I don't have full control of my Byakugan, so sometimes I see things I don't mean to see, and I can certainly tell you Naruto trumps you in one other area. She chuckled at that and left to return home. Sasuke laid on the ground, pissed off. That bitch. And she dares claim that loser is better than me, and Uchiha. If I didn't need her genes I'd kill her. This is far from over, Hinata. Mark my words. Sasuke. Are you alright? Sakura shouted as she appeared. She helped him to his feet. Oh no. Your nose is bleeding. I'm fine, Sakura. She's completely infatuated with me. Good. That makes her easy to control. I may need her help in the future. But first, let me give her false hope. Thank you for your concern, but I'm alright. But if it will make you feel better, you can walk with me to my house. Sakura nearly squealed in delight. She was going to spend some one-on-one time with her love. Even if it was just walking with him home, it was a step up. Little did she knew of his true intentions. Hinata arrived home and marched off straight to bed. She didn't want to deal with her father or anyone else. Once in bed, she calmed down and thought about her friend, poor Naruto. He deserved to pass more than anyone. Then she remembered her encounter with Sasuke. At least I finally knocked that boy down a few pegs. And I meant every word of what I said. Suddenly, her thoughts turned to the young blonde boy with blue eyes. Yeah, every word. Iruka spotted Naruto in the forest near the training grounds. He saw the scroll in his hands. Naruto, what were you thinking? Naruto heard a noise and saw Iruka heading his way. Hey, Iruka-sensei. I did it. I'll learn one of the T techniques from the scroll. What? Iruka was confused. Naruto was acting completely normal, for him anyway, like he hadn't done anything wrong. Does he not realize what he did? Or what's going to happen to him? Why yeah, see. Shadow clone jutsu. Suddenly, in a puff of smoke, 10 Narutos appeared. So, Do I pass? Iruka was dumbstruck. That jutsu is Jonin level, and he learned it in one night. Then his brain processed what Naruto said. Pass. Mizuki Sensei said that if IT took this scroll A and learned at least 01 jutsu from it, I could pass. Mizuki. Why would he say that? Naruto. Stealing the sacred scroll is a serious offense, punishable by death or lifetime imprisonment. But Mizuki Sensei said. Suddenly, shurikens appeared out of nowhere. Iruka managed to push the real Naruto out of the way while he and Naruto's clones got hit. The clones dispersed and an injured Iruka looked for the ailment. It was Mizuki. Looks like you got to him before me, Iruka. I guess I'll have to kill you too. Mizuki said with a sinister smile. What's going on? Naruto asked. Naruto, Mizuki tricked you into stealing the sacred scroll. He planned to kill you and keep it for himself. And you did your job wonderfully. As a reward, I'll answer the question you've been dying know. It's something all the adults know and was kept hidden from you and the younger generation. Don't you want to know why the villagers treat you like a monster? What? You mean you know why? Naruto asked. Mizuki, stop. That's forbidden. Naruto, just run. Iruka shouted. But Naruto stayed put. This was his chance to finally understand why he suffered all those years. Ha! I knew you'd be interested. It's simply, when the fourth Hokage battled the Nine Tails, he sealed inside of you. Naruto's eyes widened in horror. Mizuki just laughed. That's right. The demon killed all those people, including Iruka's parents, and nearly destroyed the villages inside you. You are the 90AILED fox. And to add salt to the wound, he added, I wonder how those so-called friends of yours will react when they find out. Especially that Hyuga girl. Naruto dropped to his knees. He refused to believe it at first, thinking Mizuki was lying. But then, it started to make sense. Why he was treated like he was the bane of everyone's existence. Why he always felt something in the corner of his mind, thoughts that weren't his own, urging him to kill. What they all said was true. I am a monster. Suddenly, an image of all his friends finding out and turning on him entered his head. The look on Hinata's face especially haunted him. It was filled with disgust. Now I'll send you to hell where you belong, demon. Mizuki threw a Fuma shuriken, which is basically a really big shuriken, at Naruto. Naruto made no attempts to dodge. He merely closed his eyes, waited the end. He heard the sound of metal piercing flesh, but didn't feel a thing. He opened his eyes and saw Iruka in front of him. He had taken the blow. As Iruka reached for his back to pull the weapon out, Naruto asked, Why, Iruka-sensei? Because we're the same. Naruto, I'm sorry I didn't help you more. I grew up without a family too, so I know how painful it is to be alone. Grunts in pain, and before you apologize, don't. You are not the Nine Tails. You are not the demon who killed my parents. You are Naruto Uzumaki of the village hidden in the leaves. And I am proud to be your sensei. Enough of this emotional crap. Mizuki said as he stabs Iruka in the back with a kunai and whacks him away. Iruka-sensei, Naruto shouted. Pathetic. Now we was I. Huh, what the hell? Gah, was all that was heard from a while as the scream sent nearby birds flying away. Iruka just laid there and stared. Mizuki was face down in a pool of his own blood. But that wasn't what Iruka was staring at. Naruto sat in fetal position, covered in blood, hyperventilating, his eyes wide open. His eyes, they weren't the same. In place of the blue eyes Iruka remembered, was a strange ripple pattern. Naruto. Alpha. Alpha. Yes, Naruto. When I go into Nine-Tails state, my eyes are red with slanted pupils, they don't form a ripple pattern. Alpha. I know, Naruto. So why, Alpha? Just wait for the next chapter. Kakashi. She does this mean Naruto? Alpha. Relax, my plan isn't so simple as giving him something like that to use often. Lord Third will make sure of that. Hiruzen. I will. Alpha. Yes, in the next chapter. Now can we please talk about something else? Hinata. How about my scene? Naruto. Yeah, you got your butt kicked good Sasuke. Sasuke. Yeah, and it pissed me off. I think I'll take my anger out on you. Naruto. Bring it on. The two leave to fight each other. Kakashi. We'll go make sure they don't kill each other. He and Hiruzen leave. Alpha. By the way, sorry about what I made Sasuke call you. Hinata. It's alright. I got to properly stand up for Naruto, and I beat Sasuke. I should thank you. One question though. Alpha. Yes. Hinata. That comment I made to Sasuke at the end as well as that incident with Naruto. Alpha. Ah, that. Well, I got the idea from the story, Naruto's Kit, by Brown Phantom. It was something the you in the story said at Tsunade's party. I found it funny, so I decided to add something like that. You know, add insult to injury. Hinata. I guess that makes sense. Alpha. But I wanted to make you looking an accident so as not to make you out as perverted. Hinata. I appreciate that. Well, I better go cheer Naruto on for while he beats Sasuke. Sakura appears. Sakura. Please, Sasuke is much stronger than Naruto. Both leave arguing. After calming him down, Iruka brought Naruto to the Hokage's office. Or rather, Naruto brought Iruka. Because of his injuries, Naruto had to support Iruka. However, Iruka had asked him to close his eyes and keep them that way until told otherwise, so Iruka acted as his eyes. The Anbu found them shortly after leaving the forest and attempted to arrest Naruto and take Iruka to the hospital, but Iruka refused and stopped them. He explained what happened with Mizuki, leaving out Naruto's new condition. He then requested to see the Hokage despite the Anbu captain's plea to take him to the hospital, saying it was urgent. Reluctantly, the captain urged, but on the condition that they go with him. As they entered the office, Iruka spoke up. Lord Hokage, I need to speak with you privately. The Hokage nodded and dismissed the Anbu. Iruka, tell me what happened and why you're not in the hospital for your injuries. While Naruto, eyes still closed, seated him in a chair, Iruka started telling the story of what happened, from Naruto performing the shadow clone jutsu to Mizuki's betrayal to Naruto learning he was the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. Then Mizuki went to kill Naruto when. Well, I'll let's see for yourself. Naruto, you can open your eyes now. Naruto did as he was told, revealing his ripple-patterned eyes. Hiruzen's own eyes widened. Naruto grew worried, unsure of what was going on. Why are you staring at me, Lord Third? The Hokage opened his drawer and pulled out a small mirror and handed it to Naruto. Naruto took a look and saw the change in his eyes. He started to panic. What happened to my eyes? Does this have something to do with the fox? Naruto worried this was a sign that he was changing because of the demon within him. The Hokage shook his head. No, Naruto. This has nothing to do with the Nine Tails. This is a rare Kekkei Genkai. In fact, it is not passed down like the other Kekkei Genkai. What do you mean it's not passed down? Your parents did not possess those eyes, and neither will any children or grandchildren you may have in the future. Naruto nearly fainted at the thought of him and Hinata with children but then remembered the situation. This Kekkei Genkai is known as the Rinnegan. Our Rinnegan. Yes. It is said that it is the very same Kekkei Genkai that the Sage of the Six Paths possessed. Naruto was stunned. He heard that the Sage of the Six Paths was the father of all shinobi and a god among shinobi. However, he always believed the sage to be a myth. Lord Hokage, have you ever encountered someone with the Rinnegan before? Iruka asked. No, but one of my students has. My student took the boy as his student along with two others. However, he did not give me many details on its abilities. I imagine it was a mystery even to him. He paused, giving Naruto and Iruka time to process this information before continuing. Naruto, I know the possibilities are quite tempting, but I'm afraid I must seal this power away for the time being. Why? Naruto said, a little disappointed. I'm worried about how your Rinnegan will affect the fourth seal. Also, I fear it will attract unwanted attention. Especially from Danzo. It was difficult to keep Naruto out of route because of the fox spirit. If he found out Naruto had the Rinnegan, he would be relentless, as would the rest of the council. Hiruzen though, the Hidden Leaf Council had gained much power over the years, to his regret. They wanted to turn the boy into mindless drone, a weapon. It took all day to prevent the council from doing so. Thankfully, his allies in the council were able to support him. This will only be a temporary measure until you're older. Until then, don't tell anyone, even your friends. Do you understand? Naruto nodded. The last thing he wanted was unwelcomed attention. Good. Iruka, I'll have one of the guards take you to the hospital so you can get your injuries treated. By the time you're back, I will have finished the seal. Naruto, close your eyes until the guard I call in leaves with Iruka. Naruto did as he was told and waited for Iruka and the guard to leave. The Hokage placed his hand on Naruto's forehead and started the sealing process. Kushina taught him and a number of shinobi this seal on members of the Uchiha or Hyuga clans who turned rouge. During the process, Naruto thought, so, I have the 9 tails inside me. That's why everyone hates. It's crazy, but I actually feel better knowing. I'm still scared of what the 9 tails may do to me in the future, or how my friends will react when they find out. I don't want them to and I'm not ready to tell them, but I know the truth will eventually come out. Still, at least I know I didn't actually do anything to anything. And one day, I make them see the real me, not the fox. Ha! Good luck, Kit. You'll need it, a voice in his head said in disbelief. Huh, hello. Who's there? Naruto thought, but there was no response. What was that? Could that have been done? The Hokage said as he handed Naruto the mirror. Naruto looked into the mirror and saw that his eyes were blue again. However, he also noticed 3 small swirls on his forehead in the formation of a triangle, think ___ but with swirls instead. Lord Hokage. What about these marks on my forehead? Maybe Iruka could help with that. Why don't we talk a bit until then? Actually, I want to ask you something. Of course, what is it? I wanted to ask about what it means to be Hokage. That caught Hiruzen off guard. Sure, but do you mind telling me what has you so curious? Well, Naruto took a deep breath and focused hard on not stuttering. I guess it's because of all the things I've heard about you in the past Hokages. I know that you all were great ninja. Were. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. Naruto started to panic when the Hokage added, relax, Naruto. I know it was for lack of better wording and that you meant no disrespect. Continue. Naruto calmed down, but his stutter returned. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's not the only R requirement. There was something else, right. Hiruzen chuckled. Yes, Naruto. There is more to being Hokage than being a strong shinobi. Many people overlook that fact. While being strong is important, there is one more thing that's even more important. Something that my predecessors and I possess, the will of fire. I remember Iruka sensei mentioning it, but he didn't go into detail. Allow me to. The will of fire is the bond that ties the village together. It is the desire to protect the village, its people, and one's precious people at all cost. And though many have tried, it cannot be extinguished, only passed on. Only those whose will of fire burns brightly can become Hokage. Do you understand? Naruto thought for a moment, then nodded. I wonder, I know the villagers hate me, but for some reason, I can't bring myself to hate them back. And, I want to be able to protect my friends, to be strong. A few minutes passed when Iruka knocked on the door. With permission, Iruka came in, bandages covering parts of his arms, most of his left leg, and almost half his upper body. He had a crutch in his left arm for support. I hope I'm not interrupting anything, he said. Not at all, Iruka. We had just finished our conversation. By the way, It looks like Naruto will need something to cover the seal on his forehead, the Hokage stated. I have just the thing. Close your eyes one last time, Naruto. Naruto did as he was told, a little annoyed by how many times he'd been told that. He felt something get tied around his forehead and then heard Iruka say, "Now open them." Naruto opened his eyes and looked at his sensei. He noticed something different. Iruka sensei, where's your H headband? Right where it belongs. He answered. Naruto lifted his hand and touched his forehead. He felt metal and the hidden leaf symbol. Why you mean? That's right. Congratulations Naruto, you pass. You're officially a genin. Tears of joy formed in Naruto's eyes as he rushed to embrace his sensei. Thank you, Iruka sensei. You earned it, Iruka said softly. Come on, I'll treat you to dinner. Naruto wiped his eyes and looked at the clock. I think Ichiraku is still open. The Hokage smiled. Go on now, you two. I have to finish making the teams for tomorrow. As they left, the Hokage groaned when he remembered the paperwork he had to do. Times like these, I wish I had just named another successor instead of coming out of retirement. The next morning, all the newly appointed genin were excited to bane their teams. All of them, that is except for Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Shino, Kiba, and Hinata, who were still sad that their friend Naruto had not graduated with them. Sasuke wasn't excited either, but then again, when is Sasuke ever excited? The door opened and everyone took their seats, expecting Iruka. But imagine the look on everyone's face when instead of Iruka, Naruto walked in wearing a leaf headband. Hi, he said meekly. He didn't like how all eyes were on him. Just then, all his friends rushed at him. They were glad he was there but they were also confused. Naruto, I thought you failed the test. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad you passed, but what happened? Kiba inquired. Well, Iruka sensei let me try the CL clone jutsu again. I am managed C create a solid clone and pass, Naruto lied. He hated to do it but was told by Iruka not to tell them about last night's events. Kiba and Choji were satisfied with that answer, but the others weren't convinced. They could tell he was hiding something but decided not to pressure him. Shikamaru in particular figured it'd be too troublesome. The door opened once more, but this time, Iruka did come in. Everyone rushed to their seats as Iruka spoke. Alright, first let me once again congratulate all of you for graduation. I am confident that each of you will become fine shinobi. Now, please remain quiet while I announce the teams. Everyone waited in anticipation. Naruto was thinking, please be with Hinata. Please be with Hinata. Hinata was thinking, please not with Sasuke. Please not with Sasuke. And Sakura was thinking, please be with Sasuke. Please be with Sasuke. Team 7 will consist of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and... Yeah, Sakura shouted. Meanwhile, all of Sasuke's other fangirl groaned, upset and jealous. Hinata let out a sigh of relief. Miss Haruno, I thought I asked that everyone remain quiet. Sakura immediately sat down, slightly embarrassed but happy nonetheless. As I was saying, your final teammate is... Kakashi, glad to see you finally join us. Lord Third said as Kakashi walked in, late as usual. Apologies, Lord Hokage. I misplaced my bike. Let me guess, you also saved a kitten from a tree. Asuma Sarutobi said sarcastically. Actually yes, I did in fact. Kakashi retorted. If you two are quite done, let us continue, Hiruzen said. Kakashi Hatake, you will lead Team 7 consisting of Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. Some of the Jonin seemed disgusted when they heard Naruto's name, but the Hokage continued anyway. Kurenai Yuhi, you will lead Team 8 consisting of Shino Aburame, Kiba Inuzuka, and Hinata Hyuga. Asuma Sarutobi, you will lead Team 10 consisting of Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akamichi, and Shikamaru Nara. The Hokage continued toying the teams. Alright, now that you've aligned your teams, get ready to meet them. Dismissed. Most of the Jonin cleared out. However, Kakashi and Kurenai stayed behind. Is there something you wish to discuss? Kurenai spoke up. Yes, Lord Third. I respectfully request that Naruto be placed on my team. The Hokage inhaled from his pipe. Would to care to explain your reasoning? Yes. Kakashi and I discussed this last night after the Mizuki incident. Most Jonin knew the details of Mizuki's betrayal. However, only Iruka and the Hokage knew of Naruto's Rinnegan. You would arrange the teams this way and, no offense, but we believe this arrangement to be flawed. No offense taken. Please, explain. Kakashi spoke up this time. As you are aware, my Sharingan makes me the ideal sensei to teach Sasuke. However, while watching over Naruto, I have seen Sasuke belittle Naruto and as a result lowering his self-esteem. And since Sakura possesses strong feelings for the Uchiha, she would most likeliest him. This would make them an ineffective team. Hinata, on the other hand, has the opposite effect on him. This girl changed Naruto's life for the better. Because of her, he has friends and has grown stronger. So with your permission, Lord Third, we request that Naruto be placed in my squad and Shino be placed in Kakashi's. Kurenai finished. Why exchange Shino? Shino's calm attitude is less like to cause trouble in my team. Kiba, on the hand, would most likely start fights. Kakashi answered. Very well then, I approve of your request. I shall make the changes before handing the papers to Iruka. Dismissed. The two Jonin left. Once they were out the door, Kakashi commented, that went well. Kurenai looked at him and said, you may have fooled the Hokage, but you can't fool me. I know the real reason you didn't want Naruto on your team. It's better this way. Bad things happen to those closest to me. My father, Obito, Rin, Minato-sensei, Kushina. That doesn't mean Naruto would meet the same fate. Maybe not. But better safe than sorry. I'll look after him from the shadows, but that's as close as I dare to get. Kakashi said, nearly shouting. And with that, Kakashi disappeared. Kurenai sighed. Kakashi, I know it hurts to lose people. I've lost friends and family as well, and so has Asuma. But that hasn't stopped us from forming bonds with others and each other. Shino Aburame. Your Jonin instructor will be Kakashi Hatake. Aw man, not Bug Boy. Still, he's better than that Naruto kid. He'd only drag Sasuke down. Sakura thought. Shino wasn't thrilled about being on the same team as Sasuke, but he knew better than to let his personal feelings disrupt his ninja career, so he accepted it. As for Sasuke, he didn't care. Team 8 will consist of Hinata Hyuga, Kiba Inuzuka, and Naruto Uzumaki. Your Jonin instructor will be Kurenai Yuhi. Hinata, who was sitting between the two boys, put her arms around her new teammates. All right, looks like we're team you guys. Naruto silently thanked God for putting him on the same team as Hinata. Kiba was glad as well, though not as much as Naruto. Sasuke, however, was pissed but didn't let it show. He didn't care if he wasn't in the same team as Hinata, but he didn't like Naruto being so close to her. The way things are progressing, by the time I kill Itachi, that loser will ruin any chance I have of making her mine. Do I need to teach all of you the meaning of the word, quiet? Size, Team 10 will consist of Ino Yamanaka, Choji Akamichi, and Shikamaru Nara. Your Jonin instructor will be Asuma Sarutobi. None of them were surprised. Their clans created the best ninja squad formation, the Ino Shika Cho. It was only natural that the would be team together. Iruka continued to list the teams signed, but as far as the others were concerned, none of the other teams mattered. Once he finished, the 7 friends got together. Hey, you said you could make a solid clone, right? Not an illusion, Shikamaru asked. Why yeah, Naruto answered. Come on, show us. Hinata commanded. Yeah, come on, you had us worried. You owe it to us, Choji added. Agreed, Shino said. Okay. Naruto formed a hand sign. Shadow clone jutsu. 30 Narutos popped up in puffs of smoke. Whoa, that's a lot of Narutos. Ino commented. Shino poked two of the Narutos, in case one was the original. The clones are solid. Impressive Naruto, Hinata said, causing Naruto to blush a bit as he dispelled the jutsu. By the way, Shino, I feel sorry for you. You have to be on the same team as that lousy Uchiha. Kiba said. Kiba, don't say that. Sure, Sasuke can be, rude, but I'm sure under that rough exterior lies a true gentleman. I doubt it, Hinata thought, remembering her encounter with Sasuke last night. She didn't have the heart to tell her what happened. After all, though indirectly, Sasuke played a major role in ending Ino's previous friendship with Sakura. Neither Ino nor Sakura thought clearly when he was involved. Hinata believed Ino needed to see for herself what kind of person Sasuke really is. Alright, let's get lunch. Oh, and before you say anything Naruto, this time we're getting barbecue. Choji said. The others laughed while Naruto nodded. He decided he did make his friends eat ramen too often, so he went along with Choji's idea. When they arrived, they had some trouble with the establishment letting Naruto in, but they changed their tune when they realized he was friends with Choji. Every restaurant knew of the infamous Akamichi appetite, and someone would have to be crazy to drive one away. So the staff grudgingly served Naruto. After lunch, everyone split up to meet their new sensei. Naruto, Hinata, and Kiba didn't have to wait long for their sensei to show up. Good evening. I will be your Jonin instructor. First, I like to get to know you, so I'd like you to tell me your name, likes, dislikes, and any goal or dream you have. I'll go first. My name is Kurenai Yuhi. My likes include gardening, friends, and reading. My dislikes are drunks, traitors, and those that push others around. Right now my goal to make all of you fine shinobi. After she finished, Hinata popped up. My name is Hinata Hyuga. I like my friends, cinnamon rolls, and pranking. I hate arrogant jerks like Uchiha, and shellfish. My dream is to change my clan for the better. This girl has got a fire burning in her. Plus she doesn't seem as stuck up as the rest of her clan. Kiba spoke now. I'm Kiba Inuzuka. I like beef jerky, my friends, and walking Akamaru. Akamaru barked in agreement. My dislikes are cats and people who disrespect my friends. My goal is to become a strong shinobi and beat a really strong opponent. A lot of bark. I hope he has the bite to back it up. I guess it's my job to make sure. Naruto tapped his index fingers and was barely audible. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like our ramen, my friends, and he instinctively glances at Hinata but turns back before she and Kiba notice and continues, see cooking. I dislike those who treat others poorly, especially with no versus valid reason. And my dream is. Naruto stops talking. This kid is really shy. I'll have my work cut out for me breaking him out of his shell. And from that quick glance I caught, he like our little heiress friend. Interesting. Naruto, please tell us what your dream is. You've got me curious, and from the looks on your friends, they are too. Don't worry, none of us will make fun of you. Kurenai said reassuringly. Hinata nodded. Despite being friends for little over 2 years, she had no idea of the blonde's goals for the future. Well, my dream, Naruto took a deep breath and managed to spit out with stuttering, is to be the greatest Hokage. He finished, a little louder than he wanted. Naruto felt embarrassed and quickly looked to the floor. No one was expecting this, except you readers of course. They just looked at him, not sure of how to respond. Finally Kurenai asked the question on everyone's mind. Naruto, do you truly understand what it means to be Hokage or what your job would be? A few moments passed before Naruto responded, why yeah. As Hokage, it would be my job to protect the V village and everyone in it, even at the cost of your own life. Kurenai was shocked. She had heard of how the villages treated him, and yet right now he was saying he'd give his life to protect the village that hated him. I've seen people go through less and end up resenting the world. This boy truly is his father's son. That's a fine dream, Naruto. And as your sensei, I'm going to help you all achieve your dreams. She said regarding everyone. Let's meet up tomorrow at 8 a.m. so I can test you guys and see what you're made of. Dismissed. This group has potential. They all seem to value their friendship, which is important in teamwork. Maybe I'll let them enter the Chunin exams if they're strong enough, but the exams are months away, so they have time. As they got up, Hinata couldn't help but admire her blonde friend. I've seen firsthand what the villagers have done to him, and what he almost did as a result. She thought as the image of a broken Naruto holding a kunai to his chest entered her mind. She shuddered at the memory of that day. And yet, for some reason, he doesn't hate them. You truly are strong, Naruto. Any woman would be lucky to have you. However, the idea of Naruto with another girl sickened her. No, not any woman. Me. She though as she finally confessed to herself her feelings for the boy. As everyone left, no one but Kurenai noticed the shadow near the building. Kakashi had been eavesdropping on Team Eiza, or more specifically Naruto, as he heard the blue-eyed boy's dream. Hokage just like his mother and father. They would be proud to hear this, I'm sure. The one-eyed Jonin then left and made his way toward his own team. I wonder what kind of potential Sasuke has. His Sharingan hasn't activated yet, but I'm sure once we start more strenuous missions, they'll show themselves. Then his real training will begin. Shino is an Aburame, so his jutsu and combat skills will be insect-based. I'll have to talk to his father to get an idea on how to develop his skills. Still, some taijutsu lessons will keep him well-rounded and help him in close combat. Sakura may be the most difficult to train. On paper she shows potential. However, her instructors tell me she spends more time fawning over Sasuke than developing her skills. That may prove to be a problem. When Kakashi reached the classroom, Sakura spoke up. Sensei, you're late, she said, trying to sound respectful but she couldn't hide the annoyance in her voice. I have to agree, Sensei. I believe we were all supposed to start over an hour ago. Shino said in his emotionless voice. Sasuke grunted, clearly annoyed by how long this was taking. Sorry guys. I was helping a pregnant lady with her groceries. Kakashi responded. His new students just looked at him in disbelief. This is going to be a recurring thing, I know it, they all though. Hinata, do you have eyes on the target? Kurenai asked through the radio. Yes. The target is nearing Kiba and Naruto's position. Copy that. Kiba, Naruto, are you two in position? Just give the word and we'll show you what we're made of, Kiba responded. Alright, go. Kiba leapt out of the bushes. He grabbed the target, but ended up with a face full of scratches before she ran away. Naruto then came out of the bushes, leading the target straight into the arms of the Hyuga heiress. As the target purred in Hinata arms, Kurenai walked up. Alright. Good work team. Damn it. I hate cats. And haven't we already caught this furball 4 times this past month? Kiba complained. 5. Naruto corrected. Akamaru barked in agreement. Come on guys, she's not so bad. Hinata said as she scratched Tora behind her left ear. You say that because she likes you. He does this to me every time. Kiba said pointing at his scratched face. Alright, that's enough. Let's head to the Hokage's office and return Tora. Kurenai ordered. There you are my precious. Mommy missed you. Yes she did, Madame Shijimi shrieked as she squeezed Tora in her arms. The cat was clearly not comfortable as he struggled to breathe. Oh I hope that beast over there didn't hurt you, she added as she pointed to Akamaru. Kiba was about to protest but one look for Kurenai and the Hokage silenced him. They did not want him upsetting the feudal lord's wife. Madame Shijimi gave the Hokage her payment for the job and left. Once she was gone, Hinata spoke up, the way she treats that cat, it's no wonder Tora keeps running away. The Hokage and Kurenai were about to lecture her about being respectful, but they just sighed. They knew she would just ignore them. Beside, they all knew she wasn't wrong. If any one of them were in that position, they'd run too. Well, here's your payment. That's your third job today. Will you be taking another or will that be all? Hiruzen asked. No, Lord Hokage. That will be our last mission for the day. Kurenai answered. Very well. Dismissed. Kurenai and her team left the building. It was 4:23 p.m. Okay, we have enough time to get some training in, so let's head to the training grounds. For the past month, Kurenai has been training her team in taijutsu and chakra control. True, she was nowhere near Guy's level when it came to taijutsu, but that didn't mean she wasn't skilled in it. And as the Leaf's genjutsu mistress, she was the perfect person to improve their chakra control. She even taught Kiba and Hinata a few basic genjutsu. However, Naruto proved completely incapable of performing any genjutsu. Still, by the end of the month, they had already mastered tree climbing and were moving on to water walking. At around 5:30 p.m., Kurenai dismissed her team. The three friends walked together toward Naruto's place when Hinata started to complain. Man, I'm sick of all these D-rank missions. They're nothing but chores other people are too lazy to do. I mean, dishwashing, fence painting, babysitting. UCK, don't remind me. It took all night for me to get that horrible stench that little stinker made in his diaper out of me and Akamaru's nose. Akamaru whimpered as he recalled that day. ID didn't mind that much. Naruto admitted. Yeah, because for some reason that baby liked you better than the rest of us. Hinata said, trying to sound annoyed. However, she couldn't help but be amused at how well he got along with young one. She remembered how the mother was tentative to allow him into her home. Kurenai's reassurances were that the baby would be fine were the only reason she allowed him in. How come no one else can see him the way that child did? Hinata could still remember how the mother screamed and ran to get her child away from the demon, as well as the sad look on Naruto's face. She was acting like he was going to hurt the baby when in truth, he kept her and Kiba from doing so. They arrived at Naruto's place and then went their separate ways. Naruto made himself some dinner before laying on his bed. Sleep was difficult for him ever since he heard that voice in his head back at the Hokage's office. Why haven't I heard anything since? Could that have been the Nine Tails? Or was I just imagining things? The dreams he had made it worse. Some nights he would have strange dreams about a sewer and a cage that was too dark to see into, or nightmares. One of his nightmares, he could see the Hidden Leaf village burn. In this dream, he was huge and was killing ninja and civilians alike. The worst part was, he would later look at his reflection and see the nine-tailed fox staring back. This time, this dream was about his friends. They found out about his secret and were giving him the same look the villagers gave him. And then they would abandon him. The worst part of the dream involved Hinata. While the rest of his friend walked away, Hinata slowly approached him, kunai in hand. The kunai didn't have any tags or special markings, but for some reason, it felt familiar. Hinata, what are you doing? Naruto asked, his voice not filled with terror or confusion, but pain as he watched the person he cared for the most, the first friend he ever had, walk up to him weapon drawn. Don't worry, Naruto. She said in a comforting voice that was clearly false, I'm only finishing what you started. That's when he recognized the kunai she had. It was the same one from 2 years ago, the one he used to try and. No, Hinata, please. But she didn't listen. Instead, she lifted the kunai up and thrusted it into his heart. When the blade pierced his heart, he woke up sitting upright and sweating heavily. Trying desperately to calm himself down, he went through the breathing exercises Kurenai taught them. Once he caught his breath and settled down, he took a cold shower and changed into another pair of pajamas. He laid in bed thinking about his dream. Naruto wasn't a fool. He knew such a scenario was highly unlikely. Actually, Naruto truly did not know how his friends would react. All he knew was that when they find out, nothing would be the same. Sasuke walked around his house. The building where laughter and yelling could be heard from was silent, as it had been for years ever since that night. Memories of his mother and father would plague his mind, but Sasuke didn't mind. In fact, he used those memories to fuel his desire to see Itachi's lifeless body lay at his feet. Brother, just you wait. Once I obtain the Mangekyo, I will find you and I will avenge our clan. I'll make you suffer for what you did to our family. He would always think. But for the past month, Sasuke's thoughts weren't focused on Itachi. No, they were focused on a certain heiress and her blue-eyed companion. He didn't care that he wasn't on the same team as her, but he was angered that Naruto was with her. He would rather have the blonde loser on his team than on hers. With each day, Hinata and Naruto were getting closer and closer, and though the two were oblivious to each other's true feelings, Sasuke knew it was only a matter of time. I still can't believe she's interested in him. Still, the fact remains that while Itachi's death is a priority, I need to secure my future with Hinata. Her Byakugan is the key to the Uchiha's rebirth, and that damn blonde is in the way. Luckily, the loser isn't very popular. Why isn't important? The fact is, after what I overheard earlier, I know just how to ensure my future. Sasuke was passing by the Hyuga compound when he overheard one of the guards talking about how Hiashi tried yet again to convince the Hokage to get Naruto out of Hinata team. Not that I blame him. After all, I wouldn't want my child near that boy. You knew what? The guard was saying. Shush. Did you forget the third's law? We're not supposed to talk about that, especially in front of others, his partner said, pointing at Sasuke. Sasuke didn't know what this secret was, but he knew it had to be something major to make it a law not to speak of. And it had to be pretty bad to make people talk about Naruto like that. At first, Sasuke thought about trying to find out what Naruto's secret was, but he decided against it. If the Hokage was willing to punish people for saying anything, he knew investigating would bring too much trouble. As Sasuke laid in bed, an idea came to mind. He would take advantage of the Hyuga clan's desire to separate Naruto and Hinata. All he had to do was find the right words for his proposal. The next morning, Team 8 met at the Hokage's office. Alright, there are a number of D-ranked missions available. Let's see. One man wants his house painted. Kiba, your mother has put in a request to have some of the ninja hounds walked. If not, there's dishwashing, one of the farmers needs some farm hand, or... Hiruzen was saying. No more D-ranked missions. Hinata shouted. She was sick of them. Those are all nothing but chores people are too lazy to do themselves. Give us a real mission. Yeah, Hinata right. We've trained hard. We're ready, so we should at least get a C-ranked mission. Kiba added. Both sit down in defiance, neither willing to get up until they got a really mission. Kurenai just put her hand over her eyes and shook her head. Good grief, these two are going to cause much trouble for me. She looked at Naruto, who merely looked down doing his finger-tapping habit. He's still so shy, but at least he's level-headed. I apologize for my students' disruptive behavior. It's alright, Kurenai. I'm sure they're just eager to prove themselves. The Hokage then faced Naruto. What about you, Naruto? Do you think you and your teammates can handle a C-rank mission? Naruto didn't say anything, but nodded. Well, Kurenai, the decision is ultimately yours. I do have a C-rank mission available, however whether your team gets it or not is up to you. Kurenai thought for a moment. Her team had worked hard and they have completed the minimal amount of D-rank missions required. Also, C-rank missions weren't typically dangerous. The worst that normally happened was a bandit attack. That said, there have been moments where a low-rank mission would be met with an unexpected complication, raising its rank. Still, she could see the determination in all of them. My team is ready. Very well. I have just the mission. You team will act as bodyguards on a journey. Yes. Is a feudal lord, or an ambassador. Come on, old man Hokage. Who? Hinata asked, giddy with excitement. I hope it a beautiful princess. Kiba said. Maybe she'll have a friend for Akamaru. Akamaru barked happily at the idea. Don't be so impatient. I will bring him in now. Hiruzen said. Kiba was saddened upon hearing the word, him. Bring in our guest. He shouted to the people outside the office. The door opened and an old man with a bottle walked in. What the? A bunch of snot-nosed brats and their pup. That's my protection. Brats. Let me at him. Hinata yelled as she and Kiba rushed at the client. Kurenai had to restrain Kiba while Naruto held Hinata back. Hinata, Kiba, we're supposed to be protecting the client, not attacking him. Kurenai said, keeping Kiba in a headlock. See, calm down, Hinata. Naruto was too busy keeping her from hurting the client to notice he was practically hugging her. He's just drunk. Just a drunk, the client said, mishearing what Naruto said. I'm not just a drunk. I'm Tazuna, a master bridge builder. I need to return to the land of waves to build a bridge that will change our land's economy, and I expect you brats to get me there safely. Alright, Kurenai, your team will leave for the land of waves tomorrow at 10. I suggest you all spend the rest of the day preparing. It'll take a few days to get there. Dismissed. Kurenai released Kiba. Meanwhile, Naruto and Hinata realized their position and backed away from each other blushing. Team 8 then turned and left to prepare for their first real ninja mission. Man, did he stink. Hinata said. She, Kiba, and Naruto were eating at Ichiraku. At least you don't have a heightened sense of smell. His manners are even worse. I bet he pissed someone off at a bar, that's why he needs protection, Kiba added. Hey guys, Ino shouted. She and her team entered the stand. I knew I'd find you here. Hey Ino, Shikamaru, Choji, Naruto stuttered. Hey you three. It's been a while. Hinata exclaimed. Yeah, Asuma-sensei has been keeping us busy with training and missions. It's a real drag, Shikamaru said. Come on, Shikamaru. Asuma-sensei wants us to be great shinobi. Besides, he pays for lunch. Choji argued. Yeah I know, but it seriously cuts into my cloud watching. Geez, Shikamaru, you are so lazy. You barely put any effort into training. Ino complained. She then turned her attention on Naruto and Hinata. So how you two been? She said, putting emphasis on the word you. We've been fine Ino, Hinata answered, a little worried over her friend's tone of voice. She heard it plenty of times back when Choji had a crush on this girl back at the academy. What was her name again? Doesn't matter anymore. Needless to say, it did work out, as she revealed herself to be another Sasuke fangirl. Poor Choji. It took weeks to get over her. The point is, during Choji infatuation, Ino used that tone of voice to tease him. Hinata barely suppressed a laugh, and sometimes failed altogether, when Ino used that tone of voice to make him blush. But now it was her turn. I don't remember telling her I liked Naruto. She's good. Naruto, on the other hand, was not surprised. While he never admitted he liked Hinata, his reactions to her teasing, especially the one about kissing, was all the evidence she needed. I hope Ino doesn't reveal my feelings. What if Hinata doesn't feel the same way? I don't want to lose her because of that. Your insecurities are getting on my nerves, Kit. Naruto nearly choked on his ramen. Was that you 9 tails? Again, no response. If that was the 9 tails, does the fact that he's speaking to me mean he's going to try something? Naruto sighed internally. He would have to speak with the Hokage after the mission. I wonder how Shino is doing. Kiba asked. We haven't seen him since the teams were chosen. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Everyone turned to the right to see Shino. By the way, I'm sorry but I couldn't lose them. What do you? Hinata started till she saw the two figures behind him. Oh shit. Sasuke. Over here. Ino shouted. Come sit next to me. Oh no. Sasuke is sitting next to me, Ino pig. Sakura argued. No. He's sitting next to me, forehead girl. Ino countered. While the two girls fought, Sasuke walked up to Naruto, who was sitting next to Hinata. Hey loser, move. Huh, you heard me, move. No. Naruto said softly. He stopped eating but didn't look up from his bowl. What? Sasuke asked, a little annoyed. You heard him. He said no. Hinata said. Why do you want to sit there anyway? I don't have to explain. Just move. Ahem. Sasuke and Hinata turned to look at Tyuki. Sasuke. Right, I believe those seats over there are available. Tyuki spoke kindly, but his face said that he wouldn't tolerate someone harassing one of his customers, especially one of his favorite customers. Sasuke got the message and grudgingly sat next to Sakura and Ino as both asked him on a date. Naruto looked up at Tyuki and mouthed a thank you. Tyuki smiled and nodded his head. With everyone there, Kiba decided to start bragging. Hey, guess what? We got our first C-rank mission today. Everyone looked at him in disbelief except Naruto and Hinata. Surprisingly, Sasuke was the first to speak. What? How did you guys get a C-rank mission before me? I believe you mean us. Shino correct. Even after a month of team-building exercises, Sasuke still had trouble acknowledging the fact that he was part of a team. We are a team after all. I must admit, I am curious as to how you were able to convince your sensei and the Hokage to give you a C-rank mission when all of us have only had a month of training. We're just that great. Right, Naruto? Kiba said. Right. Sasuke just finished his food, paid for his meal, and left. Sakura quickly did the same and followed him. Ino almost followed suit, but decided to stick with Hinata. Ino was thankful Hinata didn't share her infatuation with Sasuke. After all, it ruined her friendship with Sakura. So the 7 rookies started discussing the events of the last month, unaware their senseis were doing the same thing. So Asuma, how is training the newest Ino Shikacho? Kurenai asked as she ate some of her dango. Well, they have potential. Their teamwork is exceptional and they understand their family's jutsu quite well. However, there are problems. Shikamaru is brilliant but lacks any drive. Choji is strong but I've only been able to use training dummies. He refuses to spar with me or the others for fear of hurting us. As for Ino, she spends more time criticizing Choji and Shikamaru than actually train. That said, I truly believe they'll one day surpass their fathers. Asuma answered as he took out yet another cigarette, despite the glares from his 2 friends. Anyway, what about you Kakashi? From what I've heard, the Uchiha kid isn't exactly a team player. I'm surprised they actually passed your test. Well, it was close. Shino and Sasuke each worked independently to try and get the bells from me. Sasuke was quite skilled. I didn't expect that he already knew fire jutsu. Shino was difficult too. I had to keep an eye out for his bugs, with almost took the bells from me on a number of occasions. As for Sakura, she spent the entire time watching and admiring Sasuke. I easily neutralized her with a simple genjutsu. When time was up, I decided to give them one more chance. I tried Sakura to a post and told the other to not to feed her or they'd fail. Then I left. Shino was the first to offer her food, saying they had to work together in order to have a chance against me. Sasuke begrudgingly agreed and fed some of his food to Sakura. Once I saw this, I appeared in front of them yelling, "You," sounding angry, but before I could finish, Shino interrupted me saying, "Pass." Apparently, he figured out the purpose of my test. So I passed them. You must be getting soft Kakashi. Asuma joked. Sai, I actually think you might be right. While they work well enough together when required to, they don't actually bond with one another. Shino tolerates Sasuke's presence but makes no attempts to befriend him. Sasuke thinks himself above the others and feels they would only drag him down. Sakura is creeped out by Shino's insects and prefers to spend her time trying to woo Sasuke. Training must be tough then. Kurenai commented. True. When not on missions, I usually put them through team building exercises. These proved to only slightly improve their teamwork. As for individual training, I've focused more on Sasuke. I'm unfamiliar with his family's insect-based jutsus, so I've had to leave that to his father. I have, however, been improving his taijutsu skills. Sakura shows she has great chakra control, but would rather fawn over Sasuke than develop her skills. And what about you Kurenai? How is your team? Kurenai knew he really meant, how is Naruto? My team is doing quite well. It's proving difficult to get Naruto out of his shell, but his teammates are helping, especially Hinata. I think our little heiress has a thing for our Jinchuriki. And I can tell the feeling is mutual. Really? Kakashi said. So he fell for a prankster just like his father did. I doubt Hiashi would be happy to hear that. After all, my old man has told me about how Hiashi has been trying get Naruto put on a different team away from his daughter. Asuma said. I can't believe he cares about his clan's image more than his daughter's happiness, or the happiness of the son of Hitomi's best friend. Kurenai exclaimed. Anyway, they're training, Kakashi asked, attempting to get back on track. Oh, right. Well, I've already put the team through the tree walking exercise. Hinata got the hang of it quickly, though that's no surprise, given her family's fighting style. It took Kiba and Naruto a few days, but they got the hang of it. I've also managed to teach Kiba and Hinata some simple genjutsu. Naruto, however, has proven unable to perform genjutsu due to his vast and overly developed chakra capacity. So I've spent more time teaching him to dispel a genjutsu. It seems I drew the short end of the stick. Kakashi said. Then he shrugged and added, oh well. Too late to change things now. Anyway, I heard about a client from the Land of Waves requesting bodyguards. The danger should be minimal, so I think my team will take the job. Maybe a real mission will help their teamwork. Not if my team gets it first. Asuma argued, lighting another death stick. And give your track record for tardiness, I have nothing to worry about. Sorry boys, but you're both too late. Kurenai said with a smile. My team leaves tomorrow at 10. What? Are you sure your team is ready? Kakashi said, worried about his sensei's son. More than your team, Kurenai countered. Besides, you said it yourself. The danger is minimal. The worst that could happen is a bunch of bandits. My students are prepared for that. And if not, I'll beat them with ease. Well, good luck then. Asuma said, raising his glass. Not that you'll need it. Team 8 waited by the gate for their sensei and Tazuna. Each of them spend the night preparing before going to sleep. A few minutes after 10, Kurenai and Tazuna showed. Did he spend the night passed out at a bar? He sure smells like he did. Kiba complained quietly to his teammates. Why couldn't we get a princess? Alright team, it will arrive at the Land of Waves in about 3 days. I hope you all packed properly. Kurenai waited for her team to nod before she continued. I don't expect to run into any trouble, but keep an eye out anyway. The life of a ninja is full of surprises. Kiba, I want you and Akamaru up front. Use your noses to sniff out any trouble. Hinata, I want you to activate your Byakugan at regular intervals to spot traps or any enemies Kiba and Akamaru miss. Naruto, you stand guard by the client. Remember, you must make sure he stays safe. I will bring up the rear. Understood. Yes, sensei. All three shouted. All right team 8, let's move out. Hinata jumped in the air. Our first mission outside the village. All right. Tazuna just shook his head. If this is the best protection I can afford, I'm a dead man. Gato will see to that. Alpha. Done. Hiashi. Really? Did you have to make me look bad? Alpha. Hey, I gave you a conscience. I just make you ignore it. Sasuke. Don't bother aggroing. I already tried while he was typing this chapter. Hiashi. You make it seem like I care little for my daughter. Alpha. Hey, maybe in the future, you'll listen to your conscience. Hiashi. Sighs, I guess I don't really have any say. Leaves. Alpha. You know, I've been thinking. Sasuke. What about, Alpha? Ideas for new stories. Sasuke. You've barely started this one and you're already thinking of another. Alpha. Relax, I don't plan on writing new stories anytime soon while I work on this one. I may not even write these stories. But who knows, maybe someone else will write one or direct me to one. Hint, I do have one preference for them though.